It's day 4 of Vlogtober, and I thought I would answer a couple of questions. But first I'm going to show you the scrap projects that I had that one leftover of, this is Karen 1-pounder and Sunshine. I had a ball of that, so I did finish the cowl, and I didn't make it as wide. And I think that's plenty. We always do a lot of cowls and scarves for the Prayer Shawl Ministry. So I did that. I had a little bit of white, some orange, and yellow. A little bit left of the Sunshine. Oh, don't want to show you the seam there for the San Andreas fault. But had some orange and some of that Sunshine with some white left. So, baby hats. And then I found a different yellow. There we go with San Andreas fault. Turn it around. Thought, this time of year we like to do candy corn and pumpkins, hats and things like that for the babies. So, did that. Today was our normal quilting day, and we did go out and we enjoyed lunch together. There were 8 of us that went out to lunch, so that was a nice round number. And of course, tomorrow is the annual knitting run in Mill Hall, Pennsylvania at the Bald Eagle Presbyterian Church. If there's any of you nearby that'd love to come and join us and get to see what happens when the bikers come in. Bikers actually ride their bikes in about 10 o'clock in the morning. I've got to be there at 9:30 because I'm making sandwiches, so I need to get those up there for that. And there's quite a few of us there that are going to be knitting, crocheting, because we've invited the public to come in and see what we do. So I'd stop at Walmart. There is another grocery store in our town, but they're having a big sale on Domino 4-pound sugar, and I know a lot of people were heading over there, so I thought I'll just go to Walmart because I know they have the relish that I need for the ham sandwiches and the ham salad and the chicken salad that I'm making. So I know they had both the sweet and the dill. I've been at the other store, and normally they don't have both. So I decided to go the one that had both. And of course, while I'm there, I always go down the clearance aisle because you never know what you're going to find there. Well, they had some of the Go Faux Fur that Red Heart has. They had it in that real pretty whitish silver and the pink. And now ours, they sell it for $14.97. These were marked down to $12. That's still too high for me, if you ask me. You're clearancing them out. You give us a decent price. I mean, come on. It's either that or you send them back. But this time of year, they start adding in those school supplies. And I like to pick up extra sets of scissors because that's what I like to throw in my craft bag so that it's ready to go. I don't ever have to worry about one pair of scissors. Yes, trust me. I do this every year. So that when they're no longer sharp enough, although I can take them to where I get my sewing machine supplies at Hoover's, they will sharpen those little bitty things, but generally it's just easier. I've gotten $1 worth out of them. It's awesome. And then I was needing a new notebook, and they had spirals. Now this is not their brand of spirals. This is Pen Gear for $1. So I go. I thought I would also answer a couple of questions about the Prayer Shawl ministry. I started with this ministry at the Prayer Shawl Group probably about 10 years ago, maybe 11 years ago. And at that time there were 7 or 8 ladies that were crocheting. We were crocheting blankets. We were crocheting shawls and blankets. And that's mostly what we were doing. And then we had the veterans come to us, and they had asked us to start adding in a project which was pocket prayer cloths. So we did those for soldiers. And basically what it is one that's made out of cotton, because acrylic when it's blown up or fire or whatever, melts, and it melts into the wounds. But these were just small cloths about this big that a soldier could carry in their pocket. It's cotton, or helmet, or wherever they wanted to put it. And it was small enough, and if something happened and they were, God forbid, shot or in an explosion, it would not melt into the wound. That was very important, so we did that. We did a couple of other projects people had asked us for, and mostly the shawls and afghans were going out to local hospital, that kind of thing. And then one year Pastor Susan came, and she talked about joining up with this other ministry group, and that's what the Big Twin Motorcycle Club is. They are a ministering group, Christian group, and part of their program is they reach out to others, do things, service projects, those kind of things. And they had commented about, because they've had requests of us, and we had filled them, but we'd never done a knit and run, so to speak. That happened 7 years ago for the first time. And it was very chaotic and crazy. And at that time, there were probably 10 to 12 women that were crocheting and knitting and working with this group. And we weren't able to meet all the needs, the people that had asked for things. But we did our best. And that year, we would just lay things out on the pews. We didn't organize it by this nursing home, this hospital, that kind of thing. We just laid everything out on the pews so we could get a nice photo shot. And the local newspaper, when we had the knit and run, would come and take a couple of pictures, write a little blurb or write up in the paper, and it got around a little bit. And the group kind of grew from about 12 ladies to 16 ladies, but this year it grew exponentially, and I do mean it grew. A couple of months ago, I don't know if it was April or May, one of the local television stations came and they took video. And at that time, the motorcycle club was asked to come, and they all came, and we had a meal together. And we had also invited the public to come in. We do it every month in the newspaper. There's, come, join us. And so there were the normal 16 to 17 ladies, and a bunch of bikers, male and female. And we had a good time, because we always have a good time together, And the reporter came around, took video, and then they put it on the news for the next couple of news cycles. So it was played at 5:30, 5:30, 6:30, and then at the 10 o'clock. And they had mentioned there was plenty of room for other people to come. And as normal, we always try to provide yarn for those who cannot afford it and want to help in the program. So the next meeting, we had rumblings because we had a lot of calls to the church about the program. And Pastor Susan, as always, she's always excited about this. She arranged, someone had made a donation for food, money-wise, because there isn't any charge for the meal, but they do service the meal. And most of us donate, $3 to $5 for the meal and whatnot to help pay for next month's meal. You don't have to if you can't afford it, but that's just something we've done all along. And that day, there were 38 women that showed up for that next prayer group. We had things that were left at the door of the church for the Prayer Shawl Group. That is something that has always happened. But it happens, not every month. You may have one month where you have quite a few items. Next month you may have nothing. Yarn was dropped off. At the same time, there was a gentleman that had passed away, and a local realtor was in charge of selling the house. And there wasn't family. Nobody was really interested other than the one family member that they had left, and they just wanted to get rid of the house. So she had gone into the house, and she was talking with Pastor Susan somewhere in passing or whatnot, and she said, there is a basement full of yarn. And this was a gentleman that did a lot of plastic canvas work. And she said, what am I going to do with all that yarn? And Pastor Susan, Prayer Shawl Group could use that. So for the next 3 months, they arranged with someone who was in the Prayer Shawl Group to gather up all that yarn, and that person had it stored in their basement, and they brought 3 huge, the 45, 50-gallon, the big contractor's bags. They would bring 3 each month for the next 3 months. There were also donations of money to pay for yarn. That is clearly God's work, because it happens all the time like that. So, but these 38 women, and I'm including the 16 of us that normally came, they've been back every month. Even when they go on vacation, they send items. You can see how much this means to me, because there are a lot of people in nursing homes, skilled care facilities that don't have family or anyone to come visit them. And this is just a way to reach out and to give a little bit of love to these people. So if you have family that's in a nursing home, skilled facility, go visit. Really, go visit. It may be hard on you to visit, but it's just as hard for them not to have any visitors, to give up, to lose faith in people. So visit your family members. Make a point of going out and doing things for them. But this ministry continues to grow. The year that we added breast prosthesis to the program, that was very near and dear to me because my mother had had breast cancer. She passed away when I was about 14, 15 because the cancer had metastasized. And thankfully nowadays there is much better chemo, radiation that can help, put those things into remission, if not totally take it away from women nowadays. So that was something that was very dear to me because my mother for years, for the first year afterwards, she couldn't afford the mastectomy bras. She couldn't afford the prosthesis, and they were heavy silicone and very hot. They ran about $1,000 to $1,500 a piece. And what they told her as a solution was to fill a bag of birdseed or buckshot. Now, those of you that have had mastectomies, you know sometimes that scar can be extremely tender. Some people do well with other things, but birdseed and buckshots doesn't feel that nice. So, and my mother, as we were kids, I was learning to sew and those kind of things. I said, why can't we just take some flannel and, sew it to the back of the cup and put some stuffing in it? So that's what we did for my mother. Because, if birdseed gets wet, it grows. Nobody wants things growing out of their boob. So, anyway, like I said, this ministry has grown over the years to where we're now doing this for the 7th year, knit and run. These ladies have stepped up to the plate and to do work for others. A lot of them, we've got 2 or 3 ladies that they didn't know how to craft. They didn't know how to knit or how to crochet. But we took the time to teach them, and they're doing great, fantastic things. You'd be amazed at some of the things that women in their older age can determine to do and learn to do if the cause is big enough in their heart. So this Saturday is the 7th knit and run, annual knit and run. We're going to be there at 10 o'clock. That's when they're expected to come in. Like I told someone who asked the other day how long, I said, I don't know. Normally they're there about an hour or so, and then we gather everything up, load it up, say a prayer, send them on their way, and then we do spend a little bit of time afterwards because we feed them first. And then afterwards we will eat, whatever they don't take with them. So if you're in the area, want to see it, want to be a part of it, come on down because there's plenty of room. And don't worry about parking. You can park behind the church. There is a building there. It's an old school building. And it is the annual Spook Haven is there. And ignore the signs that say no parking. You'll be towed. Because this is an agreement between them. So feel free to park behind the church in that parking lot. Come on down. Enjoy. Be a part of it. So that's how the Prayer Shawl Group grew to what it is today. Will it always be this way? I hope so. And we have had groups from other places in Pennsylvania come down to learn, to see, to get advice about how to grow a prayer shawl group in their church. Basically, it's just you start and you put one foot in front of the other and you keep on going. You plug it every chance you get. So that's how that came about. Really thrilled about it. So yeah, that happens this weekend. And I'm hoping and planning to film, because it's a great tool to inspire others, but at the same time, it gets that out there because we can present that to the presbytery and everything else so that they can see what's happening. And yeah. The only other thing I have for you is the cozy. I do have a link to the pattern. It is Nicole Blakemore's, who is addicted to yarn. She has a YouTube channel. And I will put a link down below. And the link will take you to her community page. Now, I'm just learning about community pages. I didn't realize I could add things. So I'll be adding some of my patterns that have been free that I took down off of Ravelry and really had no place to put them. So I'll be putting some of those up in my community section. But the link is going to take you directly to that, and it is basically a screenshot of her pattern. And you can download it, print it off, whatever you need to do. What I did initially was just copy and paste the picture and put it into a Word document. Well, Pages, since I have Apple. And enlarge it to where I needed it to be and printed it off. So it's the easy pattern. So yeah, that's it for today. I will see you again tomorrow, probably later on in the afternoon. Everybody have a great day, and remember, choose kindness.